Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this. SEC versus Coinbase case paused for 28 days. So we know their case was paused. But what about Ripple? And this also happened. The SEC Gov under Mark Ueda has voluntarily dismissed its appeal of the lawsuit challenging the SEC Gov's expansion of its dealer role brought last April by Blockchain Association and Crypto Freedom. So now they're voluntarily dismissing appeals as well. Why don't they dismiss the appeal in the Ripple vs. SEC case? So first, why the US SEC hasn't paused its case against Ripple. Here's what Eleanor Tourette said. The journalist noted that this could explain why there hasn't been a pause request in the Ripple SEC case. She remarked that Ripple's next court date deadline is April 16th. When the crypto firm has to file its opening brief. Therefore, the SEC and Ripple may not be in a hurry to file a request for a pause in the case since the next deadline is still far off. This is unlike the SEC's case against Coinbase, in which the commission filed a request for an extension on the deadline for it to respond to the exchange's request to leave to file an interlocutory appeal. So because the Coinbase versus SEC case or SEC versus Coinbase case is the time frames are different, that's why there's no hold on the Ripple versus SEC case yet. That might come later. But if they're dropping appeals, why not just drop the appeal against Ripple? Why not just let that case die where it sits right now? Or maybe talk to Ripple and come up with a better settlement number. Maybe they settle out for like $10 million or $20 million or something. I mean, look at how much this case has already costed Ripple to begin with. But we still got to wait and see where this goes from here. Honestly, I'm hoping it doesn't go any longer. I want this to wrap up sooner than later. And even the Binance versus SEC case, hopefully that will come to an end as well, because they agreed to pause that case for 60 days as well. This also comes from Eleanor Tourette. Canary Funds is launching an Axelar trust featuring the native token of the Axelar network. The Axelar protocol has become a leading cross-chain protocol and works closely with Ripple for its stablecoin, RLUSD interoperability. Axelar acts as a bridge between the XRP ledger and the XRP ledger EVM, Ethereum-compatible network. The trust will provide institutional investors with exposure to the technology underpinning blockchain connectivity between Web3 ecosystems like the XRP ledger, Hedera, Stellar, Tone, SUI, Solana, and Bitcoin. Again, I want to see what happens with this, and I'm waiting for Axelar to go live. I'm waiting for that EVM sidechain to go live. That's going to give the XRP ledger even more momentum. I think that's going to bring a lot of value over time, and I think we're going to see instant value come from that as well, because that's big news. That shows you how all of these chains can connect together. Blockstream CEO Adam Back claims we're certainly in the early stages of a bull market. Now, he's a Bitcoin maxi, but I want you to hear what he says here.
It's hard to predict the timing, but I think we're certainly in the early stages of a bull market at this point. You know, typically the bull market cycle lasts for a certain period after the halving, and so we're still in the early innings. I think there's very stiff inflows from ETFs buying about 2 times the Bitcoin mined per day, MicroStrategy and the other Bitcoin treasury companies buying another 2 times, and the retail buyers and dollar cost average investors. So really there's a lot of inflow. I think, you know, temporarily there's some consolidation because some earlier investors, sort of midterm investors, profit taking. But, you know, that overlay would set us up for a price where you start to see Bitcoin competing with gold, perhaps pulling money out of gold ETFs into Bitcoin ETFs. And then, of course, if the treasuries come in, like the sovereign treasuries, the Bitcoin reserves, that would be something where you'd see sovereign competition. As soon as one of the bigger countries jumps in, I think the others will feel forced to follow suit. So that would, you know, all bets would be off if that happens. Now, of course,
Now, one thing I want to point out is what he said. He's expecting a lot of money to flow into the Bitcoin ETFs. But what if an XRP ETF was to go live right now? More money would flow towards the XRP ETF. XRP has a better upside potential, better ROI, return on investment. And I think the institutions, they know that. Plus, XRP actually has a real world use case. They're also banking on that strategic reserve. What they think is going to happen is if the US creates a strategic reserve around Bitcoin, other countries will rush to do the same thing. The problem is, outside of the United States, most of these countries, they look at Bitcoin like it doesn't have any value. Look at the way the ECB talks about it. Look at the way the World Economic Forum talks about it. Look at the way the Bank of International Settlement, the BIS, talks about it. Even the BRICS, they don't look at Bitcoin as having any real value. So I don't see momentum building for Bitcoin. I think right now it has one more big push up though. I think it's going to come in around $120,000. And anybody that's saying that it's going to 500K and beyond, I think they're just crazy. Because first of all, every time Bitcoin gets to $100,000, it seems like price manipulation starts, bringing it right back down. People even blamed Bitcoin manipulation for the fact that XRP and the rest of these altcoins seem like alt season is being delayed because of Bitcoin manipulation. But I do expect one more push up. I also expect by the end of February, we start to really push into alt season. Binance US officially resumes USD deposits and withdrawals. Binance is getting ready for the run-up. They want to make sure that they capture the US market. If they're bullish like this, you know we are getting very close now. That's why I said one big drop of big news and we will start to see this market really explode. And I honestly thought it was going to be this right here. The war is over. President Trump says he ended Joe Biden's war on Bitcoin and crypto. Take a listen.
Keep the United States at the forefront of artificial intelligence and to end Joe Biden's war on Bitcoin and crypto. We ended that war totally. That war is over. They were very hostile toward them until the very end, just because there's so many people on Bitcoin and crypto that just before the end, the SEC came out and they were being very nice. I was so nice to people because so many people were being indicted for no reason whatsoever. Very political group of people.
And I wonder if he's talking about what happened with Ripple, because we know Ripple is still tied up with the SEC. But the war is now over on Bitcoin and crypto. And a lot of people said, why do you think Bitcoin and crypto is separate when Trump talks about it? I honestly think it's because he likes to say Bitcoin because most people out there, they know what Bitcoin is. But if you mention crypto, they don't know really what crypto is. Yet they still know that Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It makes no sense. It's the same reason that the mainstream media news, whenever they talk about crypto, they always talk about Bitcoin. But even that narrative is starting to shift. There's now a lot of talk about Ripple on the mainstream media news. There's talk about other cryptocurrencies as well on the mainstream media news. Because I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that crypto isn't going anywhere. He also said that he's going to make America a global hub for crypto. Take a listen.
Points, and Bitcoin has set multiple all-time record highs because everyone knows that I'm committed to making America the crypto capital. We want to stay at the forefront of everything, and one of them is crypto, and Miami seems to be the center of the action, come to think of it, and maybe it'll stay there.
So it looks like Miami is at the center of the action. But, you know, America becoming a global hub for crypto innovation, that's huge. And I think Trump, if he really wants to get crypto moving, US-made cryptocurrencies moving, I think he should announce that he's dropping capital gains on US-made cryptocurrencies. That would definitely give Stellar a push, Ripple a push, Hedera a push, even Solana, ADA, and a few others. That would start a lot of momentum around those cryptocurrencies because people would always invest in something if they don't have to worry about taxes, paying taxes when they cash out. And I still think that's going to happen at some point. But I wanted to point out that Trump is now doubling down on what he said about crypto. He is not pivoting away from crypto at all. U.S. Senate confirms pro-crypto Howard Lutnick as Secretary of Commerce. So it looks like he is now the Secretary of Commerce. And right away, people said, that's very bullish for Bitcoin. But look at what Howard Lutnick has been talking about. He's been talking about the tariffs, ending the IRS. He even pivoted away from Tether. He's distancing himself away from Tether because he knows Tether is not going to pass U.S. regulations. We are moving into a transparent time, a regulated time. Tether has no place in transparency at all. You say transparency, and Tether is so far away from transparency. We know they will never pass an audit. Even JP Morgan thinks that Tether will need to sell off all of their Bitcoin to pass regulations in the United States. Think about that. So if they were to sell off all of their Bitcoin to pass US regulations, what do you think is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin? Not only that, think about what's going to happen when Tether collapses out because they can't pass US regulations. You know, their CEO doesn't think they need the US or the EU market. But these are huge markets. If you don't capture the EU and the US, it's pretty much over for your stable coin. That's why I think Tether's been pivoting all of a sudden. They're even getting involved with the AI chip that goes in your brain. I mean, I guess they want to brainwash you to make you think that they could pass an audit. I don't know. But I like the fact that Trump said the war is over on crypto. That's huge because that's what we've been waiting for so long in this country. You know, the last 4 years, nothing got done. Ripple built outside the United States. Hedera built outside the United States. Hedera managed to still get a lot of ties within the United States to the U.S. government as well through their partners like Drop and a few others. But now we're going to start to see all these institutions rush to get involved with crypto because anybody who gets in there first is always going to beat the competition. And us as XRP investors, think about how early we were to this. You know, sure, it was tough holding XRP while it went sideways for years. But now you're starting to see why it was so important to keep packing that bag, keep buying those dips, because now we're at a time where we are going to get rich off of our crypto because of innovation pushing ahead. Crypto regulations coming. We will finally get regulatory clarity. And all of that will skyrocket utility-driven cryptocurrencies. Not just XRP, but all of these utility-driven cryptocurrencies. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.